Today, we're diving into a major shift happening in the world of banking, one that might just spell the end of customer service frustration as we know it. And the whole story can really be told through three pretty incredible numbers.
Okay, let's just jump right in. First up, 98%. What's that? Well, that's the new customer satisfaction score for a new AI-powered banking agent. Now, to give you some perspective, that's not just good, it's on par with, and sometimes even better than, the very best human agents out there. Next, we've got 10x. That's the revenue growth in just the last year for the company that's building this AI. So you know this isn't just some small-time experiment. Banks are jumping on this technology and they are moving fast. And our last number for now, an 11% boost in accuracy over its closest rival. And let me tell you, in the world of finance, a performance gap that wide isn't just big, it's a total game changer. So what exactly is this technology that's making all these waves? Well, at its core, you can think of it as a personal AI banker for every single customer. Let's dig into what that actually feels like. The whole idea here is to get rid of the most aggravating parts of calling your bank. You know the drill, right? You're stuck on hold forever, you get bounced from one department to the next, and you have to keep explaining your problem over and over and over again. This AI is designed to take on those really complex, high-stakes issues. Think fraud or a blocked payment and handle it all from start to finish, just like a real dedicated account manager would. So, the big question is, how on earth does an AI manage these kinds of conversations? You know, the ones that are loaded with super strict procedures and financial regulations. Let's peel back the curtain a bit.
Let's just walk through a classic, stressful scenario. Imagine your credit card gets stolen. You call in, and the AI immediately starts verifying your identity. And get this, it can handle you interrupting it or changing your mind. The second you're verified, boom, the card is frozen and a new one is on its way. But it doesn't stop there. It can then answer all your follow-up questions like, hey, when's my new card going to get here? Without ever losing its place.
Just think about how tough that is from a technical standpoint. The AI has to keep track of where it is in a really complex checklist, even if the customer goes off on a tangent or asks a totally random question. And it does all of this with a response time of just 500 milliseconds. I mean, that's so fast, the conversation just feels completely natural, completely human. This quote from the system's chief scientist really cuts to the chase. When you're dealing with money, you absolutely can't not have an AI that just makes stuff up. It's a non-starter. And that obsession with reliability brings us to the next critical piece of the puzzle: trust. I mean, how do you convince a giant bank operating in one of the most regulated industries on the planet to hand over its customer conversations to an AI? Well, it all comes down to proving, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it works. The key way they measure this isn't just about getting a single answer right. They use a metric called trajectory accuracy. The best analogy is a pilot following a flight plan. It's not about making one correct turn. It's about whether the AI perfectly navigates the entire correct procedure from the very beginning of the call to the very end. And when you look at the actual data, the difference is just stark. This system hits a 97% trajectory accuracy. The next best provider? They're down at 88%. In this business, that 9-point gap is basically a canyon. Let's be blunt about it. That accuracy gap is the difference between a happy customer who got their problem solved and a massive compliance incident for the bank. It's the difference between building trust and taking on a huge risk. And that trust is built through some seriously rigorous testing. We're talking about more than 15 different guardrail systems running at the same time, just to keep conversations on the right track. They test it by replaying thousands of real customer calls. They even use synthetic data to cook up weird, rare edge cases to see how it reacts. And of course, the rollout is gradual, starting with a tiny fraction of calls and slowly expanding from there. So after all that incredibly hard work to build trust and guarantee accuracy, what's the actual real-world impact been? Well, the results are pretty stunning. And that brings us full circle, right back to our very first number, 98% satisfaction. This is the payoff. Customers aren't just putting up with the AI. In many cases, they actually prefer it. Why? Because it's fast, it's consistent, and it gets the job done right the first time. And this isn't some gradual improvement either. The effect is immediate. From day one, the very first day a bank flips the switch, it's seeing over a 50% resolution rate for some of the trickiest problems, like fraud claims. That is an instant, undeniable upgrade. Which, of course, leads us back to this. That 10x revenue growth isn't just some abstract business metric. It's the direct result of all those other numbers we've seen: the accuracy, the reliability, and most importantly, the customer satisfaction. It's proof that this whole model works. So, where does all of this go from here? I mean, what's the long-term vision for a technology that's already changing the game so dramatically? The future isn't just about making one phone call better. It's about an AI that actually remembers you. An AI that knows your entire history with the bank, that keeps track of your ongoing issues, and can pick up a conversation right where it left off, no matter if you're on the phone, in a chat, or sending an email. A single, seamless experience. And as the chief scientist says, this isn't just about the technology of today. They're building a platform for the future. The AI models that power this are getting smarter and better at reasoning every single year. This system is designed to evolve right alongside them, meaning it's only going to get better at handling more and more complex problems, safely and securely.
Which really leaves us with one last big question to chew on. As these AI systems get more and more capable, handling our problems with the skill and consistency of a top-tier human expert, are we looking at a future where the customer-facing side of banking becomes completely automated? It's definitely something to think about. That's it for this update. Thanks for tuning in.